Totally, out of 3 sample test cases, yesterday I executed 2. Let me run another test case. Admin able to change the password or not in Primus Bank application. If any defect encountered while executing these tests, we'll record the defect in the same defect report template what we discussed yesterday. Once this work is done, then I'll give the notes about the defect reporting template. We were seriously discussing. The 2 test case I executed. Let me run test case number 3. Check admin change password functionality in the Primus Bank application with valid inputs. Step 1, open the browser, enter valid URL and click go. I'm running the step 1. Step 1 executed. What's happening? I didn't understand. System should display Primus Bank homepage is expected. A system showing Primus Bank homepage. I am updating the actual as expected. The result is pass. Step 1 is pass.
Sir, we have opened Orange HR.
Very good. For that reason, we have to refer always the data. Here the URL is clearly mentioned. I given the wrong URL. Enter the URL primusbank.qtech.com. System should display Primus Bank homepage. Yes, system displayed Primus Bank homepage. Working as expected. The status pass. Let me run the second step. Login as administrator. Username admin, password is admin. The second step also executed. System should display admin module is expected. System showing admin module. The second step also working as expected. Pass. Step 3, click change password. I'm executing the step 3, clicking change password. Oh, there is some runtime error here. Let me try another time. There is some runtime error is coming. Step 3, there is some deviation identified in the step 3. So what do you want me to update here? System displayed some runtime error. I just updated system displayed runtime error. Server error in application. Description application error occurred in the server, the current customer, or lot of description. In this scenario, better, tell me. I just mentioned system displayed runtime error. While reporting this bug, first of all, what is the status? Fail. Will show in red color. We know every failed step results in a defect which need to be properly documented and updated to the developer. This is the defect report we are using. Yesterday, I documented the defect one. They say inappropriate error message. Today, we encountered one more issue. I'm updating here, defect 2. Yes, what do you want me to update in summary? Summary. Precisely give the information about the problem, what you have encountered.
Change password is not working.
Facing an issue
Admin
while changing password.
Not working. Enough. Admin change password not working. If I simply say change password is not working, admin module available, customer module available, banker module available, again the question to the developer, which change password is not working? If I simply write like this, change password not working, there is a possibility my developer will hold the defect. I need more clarification about the bug. I'm writing admin change password not working. If I'm saying to my developer admin change password is not working, now the developer may get different questions. Not working meaning the link is not available, link is not responding, link is showing a wrong page, or link is showing a runtime error. There are different possibilities. Link not responding, link is showing a wrong page, showing a runtime error. First of all, the link is not clickable, not available. Developer may get many questions, not working fine. What actually the problem is? I use the description column, next column to describe what exactly the problem is. Using defect summary, first I'm explaining my developer the problem is that admin change password. I give more details about the defect, detailed description about the defect in the column called defect description. Tell me what you want me to write here.
When we click change password,
When we click change password,
where
where?
it's showing
System
error.
runtime error.
Module,
Admin module
it's system shows runtime
System
error.
showing
Hmm.
Runtime error.
some runtime error.
Error.
Better here. There's a lot of description about the error. I may not able to properly describe this to my developer. Better, yes. Here, just I'm saying to my developer, there is a runtime error coming. I want to give more details about the runtime error. But lot of description, lot of lengthy description is here. I want to give more details about this is a runtime error is coming to my developer. Yes, online people answer this.
Copy the URL.
There is a description in the first two lines, but I think that should be enough to understand what's the error.
Maybe we'll take the
See,
screenshot and
if you feel better to give more details about this is a runtime error I am getting, what we can do?
No screenshot.
screenshot.
Then
Attach
it is-
screenshot.
Better capture the screenshot of the window. Take the screenshot of the window. While sending this defect report to my developer, I'll attach all the screenshots for more reference. That's it. Generally, you are explaining a problem to somebody else. Problem is not clearly explainable. The other person not understanding. Generally, mostly what we do, we take the screenshot and forward. Same way it is. For every bug, you no need to send a screenshot. If the bug is easily understandable, no need to give a screenshot. If I feel better to give a screenshot to give more details about the bug to my developer, in that scenario, we can go for screenshot. I'll take the screenshot of this window. No, generally, in Windows, we have snippet tool or print screen simply. Open Microsoft Paint. Paste the screenshot. All print screen. Now I save in some folder. I'll save in some folder, maybe with a name. Defect 2. Why I given the file name as defect 2? By seeing the attachment, developer can understand this screenshot belongs to defect 2. This I can communicate to my developer. Right. What is the next column?
It's yes.
Yes, sir.
This problem is coming every time. Yes. Reproducible steps. Step 1. Launch the Primus Bank application. Step 2. Login as admin. Step 3.
Click change password.
Click change password. By giving a reproducible step, we are explaining the developer where we are getting this issue. By giving reproducible steps, we are helping our developer in quickly understanding the posted bug. The next column, defect severity.
Very
Explain
high.
the developer how serious this problem is to the customer. Change password not working. Admin change password not working. There is an issue at admin change password functionality. I'll take it as very high. Very high. Reason is, admins very frequently they change their passwords. But in the application, admin change password is not working. Very high severity. High, very high, almost both are same. Medium and low, almost both are same. Priority, generally, we are not going to update. Who will update the priority? Truly speaking,
Developer.
you are not going to update the priority. Yesterday, to explain, I use the priority. This column is filled by the developer, not by you. Your job is posting the defects, explaining the developer how serious they are. Your job done. What to be resolved first, what to be resolved next, developer will decide, not you. I'm leaving this column. I'm not mentioning any priority because it is not updated by us, it is updated by the developer. Every defect initially status would be new.
New.
When you are reporting a problem to the developer, status would be new. Developer will verify the received defect, maybe change the status to open or rejected or postponed or something else. Initially status would be new. Your name. Sir, actually here you have to fill your name. Don't write tester name every time. And when the problem was detected, today date, in which build this problem was detected, build 1. For whom you are reporting this bug, developer name. Fixed date also we are not going to fill. After resolving the bug, developer update the fixed date. Change the status to fixed, change the status to fixed, and update when the problem was fixed. After we retest only, we are going to update the date of closure, not now. At the time of bug reporting, we are not going to update the date of closure. But this defect belongs to which test case number will be updated, test case number 3. So generally, after executing test cases, totally there are 100 planned test cases to execute. 10 days time given to me to execute all these 100 test cases. 8 days, I finished executing all these 100 test cases. 2 days time left in. Still, I have 2 days of time. What to do? What you will do? You will do?
Recheck.
My job is done. My lead asked me to execute test cases. I executed. My job is over. Generally, people psychology. My lead asked me to execute 100 test cases. I executed. It I didn't. Huh? Instead, test the application as you wish. Do monkey testing, ad hoc testing, whatever. Finally, try to catch any hidden issues, any tricky defects, still anything is available. Let's say you find a bug while doing this ad hoc testing or monkey testing. We don't have a test case for it, correct? Defect number 3, I updated the defect, whatever I have encountered. What is the last column? Test case reference. There I put ad hoc. In the column test case number column, I put ad hoc because there is no test case for this bug. Okay. So here I again explain how to execute the test cases and how to record a defect. Hope the point is clear. Now let me explain the defect report template once again. Let me give the notes. I hope you understand the template. Let me give the notes about this defect report template. Right. What are the columns of a defect reporting template? Close the notebook. Everybody close the notebooks. Explain what are the components of a defect report template. Defect number, defect summary, defect description, whether the defect is coming every time or not, reproducible yes or no, reproducible step.
Number, the closure date.
Madam, date of closure last column.
Defect severity, sir. Severity.
Defect severity.
Defect number, defect summary, listen, defect description, whether this defect is occurring every time or not, reproducible yes or no, the steps to reproducible steps, and how serious this bug is, defect severity, in which order the bug need to be rectified, defect priority, what is the current position of the defect in the development process, defect status, in which build it is identified, build number, who identified, detected by, when identified, detected date, for whom it is communicated, developer name assigned to, when the problem is resolved by the developer, fixed date, when finally it is closed, date of closure, and these defect belongs to which test case number, test case reference. These are the columns of the defect reporting template. Note on this template. Defect report template better you take in a horizontal manner because there are many columns. Defect report template. Defect report template. I already uploaded this template in our LMS. Did you refer? Yesterday, I already uploaded this.
Yes, sir.
You open and close. Take the columns. The first column, defect number. Defect number. The second column, defect description. Only note on the empty template. Anyhow, later you can update from the LMS or you can make a download of this copy. Defect description, defect summary, sorry. defect number, defect summary is the next column, defect description, defect description, reproducible, yes or no, reproducible, yes or no, reproducible steps, reproducible steps, reproducible steps, defect severity, defect severity, defect priority. Anyhow, when you refer this template, I given the complete details here. Different severities, different priority. Anyhow, I'm going to give the notes today. Defect status, defect status, detected by, detected by, detected date, detected in version, defect status, detected by, detected date, detected in version, assigned to, assigned to, fixed date, fixed date, date of closure, lastly, test case reference. Scenario template, test case template, and this defect report template. Prepare well. You should be able to write the template without referring any notes or anything. Because most of the interviewers will ask you, will you be able to sketch the test case template? Will you explain the test case template? Will you explain scenario template? Will you explain defect reporting template? You should be able to write the template and explain how to make use of this template for writing cases, for writing defects. All templates you prepare well. Three major templates: scenario template, test case template, and defect report template. Right. Now let me give some notes about all important components of this document. What is the very first column here? Defect number. Do you expect any notes for the defect number columns? If I want to give the notes, a serial number given for a defect is called defect number. You want to take it? Very good.
No,
Summary
sir.
of the defect, column name itself very clear what it is. Detailed description about the defect, defect description. Let us take the notes about what is reproducible defect. Take it. What is reproducible defect? Reproducible defect. Reproducible defect. Yes, how you answer this? When a defect is occurring every time, repeatedly, when a problem is occurring repetitively, repeatedly, again and again, same problem is coming again and again, then it is called reproducible bug. Make a note. If a defect is occurring, if a defect is occurring every time, if a defect is occurring every time, then it is called reproducible defect. It is called reproducible defect. If a defect is occurring every time, then it is called reproducible defect. The next column, reproducible steps, are simple. Steps to produce a problem. Steps to produce a defect. By giving reproducible steps, we are helping our developer in quickly understanding the reported issue. Must ask the entire questions. What is defect severity and what is defect priority, and explain. Take it. Defect severity. Defect severity. How you define defect severity? What is called defect severity?
How badly its effects on a particular application or software.
How badly it is affecting the application usage? How serious the identified problem is? The impact of the defect to the end user business. Always we need to consider the severity in an end user point of view. How serious it is affecting the customer business to be considered. We know the requirements well. We know what customer is expecting from this product. Hence, we are the right people to decide the severity. If I give the option to my developer, you decide the severity, what developer will say? If you give the option to the developer about the severity, how serious the bug is, what developer will say? All are low severity bugs because they made the mistakes. The programmer will say, it's a light issue, I will resolve it. We know the customer requirements well. We know what customer is expecting from this product. How badly it is impacting the customer business, we have to assess. Then we have to decide the severity and update the severity. Impact of the defect. How serious the defect is called defect severity. Defect severity decided by the tester. The various possible defect severities are very high, high, medium, and low. Make a note of it. Defect severity. The impact of the defect. The impact of the defect. The impact of the defect, or how serious the defect is. How serious the defect is. How serious the defect is called defect severity.
Sir, repeat once again.
The impact of the defect, or how serious the defect is called defect severity. The impact of the problem, or how serious the problem to our customer is called defect severity. Make a note. Different defect severities. Different defect severities. What are the various possible defect severities? Different defect severities. Put on this. Very high, high, medium, and low. Very high severity, medium severity, and low severity. These are the various possible defect severities. So we need to assess how serious it is. In the two examples, when I leave the username password blank and click submit, it is not allowing me to log in, but showing some inappropriate message. I take it as a low severity, not such a serious issue. Really, it is allowing me to log in, it's a very high severity. We need to understand, we need to analyze how serious it is, then we have to decide the seriousness of the bug. Make a note here. Tester decides defect severity. Tester decides defect severity. As we know the requirements well, we know about the customer business requirements well, hence we are the right people to decide how it is badly impacting the customer business. Tester is the right person to make a decision on the severity. And these are the various possible severity, very high, high, medium, and low. Take the next one, defect priority. The next column, defect priority. What is test case priority? Priority is a word I can use for any work. Test case priority, we are deciding. Totally 100 test cases are created. I'm opening a test case document here. For every test case, we have assigned the priority. Very high, high, medium, low, this column. Who is deciding the test case priority? Tester. Because we are deciding what to test first, what to test next, not the developer. Test case priority, we are deciding. We reported some defects to our development team. Who is resolving the bug? Then who decide what to be resolved first, what to be resolved next? What is defect priority? I agree, developer will decide the defect priority. Question is, what is defect priority?
Quickly defect gets to resolved.
The order in which defects need to be resolved. What to be resolved first, what to be resolved next, what to be resolved last. This is called defect priority order. Make a note, defect priority. The order in which defects to be resolved, is called defect priority.
Sir, once again repeat, sir.
The order in which defects need to be resolved is called defect priority. In very simple words, what to resolve first, what to resolve next, developer will decide, assign the priorities. In which order problems need to be rectified, decided by the developer, it's nothing but defect priority. Continuation. Different defect priorities. Different defect priorities. Different defect priorities. What are the different defect priorities? Very high. You can also mention as P0, high, P1, medium, P2, low, P3. Very high priority to resolve, high priority to resolve, medium priority to resolve, and low priority to resolve. These are the various defect priorities. Who decided? Why?
Because it is to be resolved by developer.
You reported 10 issues to the developer. You updated how serious they are to the customer. Your job done. Your job done. You reported 10 problems to the developer. Now the developer decide what need to be rectified first, what to be resolved next. If I am a developer, I know if defect number 4 is rectified first, automatically it may resolve the defect 1. Developer has the coding knowledge. Developer decide what to be rectified, what to be rectified next, what to be rectified next, not you. Defect priority decided by the developer. Make a note. Defect priority decided by developer. defect priority decided by developer. As developer going to resolve the issue, developer decide what need to be rectified first, what need to be rectified next, not you. Fine. See, listen, 90 to 95% defect severity and defect priority are directly proportional to each other, will be same value. If the impact of the bug is high, severity is high, no doubt, immediately developer will try to resolve it, correct? I reported a problem to my developer, login not working, very high severity. Will developer postpone it? Immediately they will rectify it. If severity high, mostly priority also will be high. When the severity is less, and there is some inappropriate message, that color is not good. There is some spelling mistake in a content. The paragraph is not aligned properly. Bugs only, low impact bugs. They won't have any impact on usage of the system. Severity wise low. Programmer also first will resolve the major issue. Maybe next week we'll resolve all these kind of minor issues. When the severity is low, mostly priority also will be low. But in 1 or 2 cases, this may change. Let me explain how severities and priorities are connected. Make a note. Defect severity versus defect priority. Defect severity versus how it is connected with defect priority. Make a note. Mostly defect severity and defect priority, are directly proportionate to each other. If you want me to make it simple, mostly defect severities and priority values will be same, or mostly directly they proportionate to each other. I repeat, in most of the cases, severities and priorities will be the same. The defect severity is high, impact of the defect is huge, immediately programmer will try to rectify it. Priority also will be given high. When the impact of the bug is less, programmer also will buy some amount of time to rectify it. Severity high, low, mostly priority also will be low. That is my statement here. Mostly defect severity and priority are directly proportionate to each other. Next paragraph. But in some situations, in some situations, this may change. What is the meaning of my last statement? In some scenarios, low severity defect may take high priority. High severity defect may take least priority. So one of the frequent last enter question is, give an example for a defect that takes low severity but high priority. Give an example for a defect which takes low severity but high priority. Similarly, give an example for a defect that takes high severity but low priority. Note on this separately. An example for a defect which takes low severity but high priority. Low severity but high priority. An example for a defect which takes low severity but high priority. Try to understand this. Supposing in our some application, we are testing some application, maybe some e-commerce or banking, whatever it may be. That logo is not properly visible. Logo colors, there's a little deviation. You know, ICICI Bank logo colors, red and orange mixture. My developer given dark red and dark orange mixture. Little deviation in the logo branding colors. Our logo is not properly visible, not loading properly. Sometimes I'm getting some into kind of mark in place of a logo. Logo is not properly visible. My question, we encountered an issue, logo is not properly visible. Or there is a spelling mistake in the company name displayed in the homepage of the website. A spelling mistake in the company name. In place of E, programmer used A. Or logo colors, logo not correctly visible. Severity is low or high, you tell me.
High.
Severity meaning
High.
the impact of this issue for the system usage.
Low.
Low.
For system usage, it is low.
Severity meaning how it is affecting usage of the application for the business. That is called severity. How badly it is affecting usage of the system for the business. That is called severity. Logo not properly visible. There's a spelling mistake in the company title. Will it have any impact on usage of the system? I can use the application. Severity wise low. It won't have any impact on usage of the system. Severity is low. But if I say to my client, customer, the only small logo issue, in the next version we resolve it, will customer agree? Customer will say, I'm investing crores of money for branding, logo, advertisement. You are killing my logo. Whenever a person come to my website, homepage, the homepage itself, my logo is not properly visible. They feel it is not a good one. Immediately, this need to be resolved. Actually, it won't have any impact on usage of the system, severity-wise less. But customer mindset point of view, business point of view, immediately it need to be rectified. Priority is very high. Severity low, but priority is very high. Not high, very high. Immediately it need to be rectified. Make a note. What is the notes I given? Study it. You study it.
Sir, last point, but in some situation this might change.
Repeat. Repeat. Post your question again. Take the notes. I think they are busy. Venkat, they are muted or what? Venkat?
No, sir.
Yes, Surya, post your question.
Sir, for high priority, we can call it also critical priority.
English terminology wise, anything we can use. Very high, fatal, critical, major, all English meaning is same. Generally, your company will define a process. In our company process, we follow these words, very high, high, medium, and low. Otherwise, what happens? If there is no process defined like this, 10 people involved in testing this project. One person identified one serious issue. She updated severity as critical. Critical, okay? Other person identified another major issue. He updated severity as fatal. Other person identified one more major issue. She updated severity as very, very, very serious. Finally, all meaning is same. A manager trying to filter, totally there are 40 defects in my database. I would like to know how many are major issues are available. I created a filter in Excel. I see a word very high. I selected it. It is showing only one. Actually, there are four. One person updated severity as critical. Other person updated severity as fatal. Other person updated severity as very, very serious. Other person updated as very high. But I do not know about it. I selected very high, it is showing only one, but actually there are four. How you can address this? Explain your team members. Do not follow each and every terminology. Strictly follow only these four terminology. Very high, high, medium, low. So that all team members will follow the same terminology. Defect tracking will become easy. Got it?
Sir, if a defect is non-reproducible, then how we will convey that to the developer? So how that defect is coming?
See, you said this problem is not coming every time. If possible, take a screenshot and communicate. Now, developer also will have a repetitive check. That is the only way here. Right here, yes.
We no need to write those reproducible steps, right? Because it is non-reproducible.
No, not required.
And also, if like you gave that example about that logo, if we are mentioning that severity is low, how developer will come to know that the priority is high?
See, I reported a problem to the developer. Logo is not properly visible. Really, developer not able to decide that, we cannot do anything. Developer should have minimum the clarity, correct? Anyhow, the project lead parallelly watching the day-to-day work, right? If I'm the project lead, developer also given the severity, tester given the severity as low. Developer also decided priority as low. Project lead is watching each and every defect, right? Immediately I'll update to my team member. No, it is not low severity. Immediately it need to be resolved. Make it as very high and immediately resolve it. Right. So mostly defect severities and defect priorities are directly proportionate to each other. Values will be the same, 90%. In few cases, this may change. So I given an example for a defect that is, I given. An example for a defect which takes low severity but high priority. Note on the example. Incorrect logo or a spelling mistake in company title. A spelling mistake in company name, company title. Note on the next one. An example for a defect. An example for a defect which takes high severity but low priority. High severity but low priority. High severity but low priority. Try to understand this. Let's say we are working on some incremental model project. In schedule 1, first schedule module 1, second schedule module 2, something like this. Our project has two major modules, module 1 and module 2. It's an incremental model project. This week, by this Friday, we have to give the module 1 to the client. First version. The delivery schedules next week, we have to give next version with both module 1 and module 2. It's an incremental model project. Okay. Two modules are ready. Development is ready. Test case also ready. But as per the shipment schedule, this week we have to give the only module 1 to the customer. Next week we are giving the next version with both module 1 and module 2. The manager asked the team members, testers, you test module 1, you test module 2, because anyhow, under 1 week of time only available. 2 modules are available, test cases available, but delivery schedules are planned like this. I ask one team member, you test module 1. I ask other team member, you test module 2. One person testing module 1 identified one minor issue, reported to developer, defect 1. Defect 1, some defect description, and severities and priorities I am giving. Severity is, okay, sorry. Severity is low. It's a minor issue. The second person testing module 2, a major issue identified in the module 2, defect 2, major issue it is. The second defect also reported to the developer. What is the severity? High or very high, whatever it may be, high. Two defects are communicated to the developer. Considering the delivery schedules, which problem will be rectified by the developer first? You answer me.
Which
One
is
or
more
two?
important? Two.
Version 1 will be the solved,
Two
but that is
defects are
defect 1.
communicated to the developer. Defect 1 minor issue belongs to module 1. Defect 2 a major issue belongs to module 2. Considering the delivery schedule, this week we are giving module 1 to the client this Friday. Another 1 week of time available to give the module to the customer. Which problem will be resolved by the developer first in this context?
Defect 1.
Defect 1.
This will be given high priority, though severity is low. Why? Immediately
Due to
it has to
less
release to
time.
the client.
Because it's
Only
an
3 days of
older
time available to release the product.
version.
Another 1 week time available. Next week I concentrate on defect 2. Because next Friday we have to give the module 2 to the client. As it is in immediate release, though it is a minor issue, severity low, but immediately will be resolved. Coming to second one, severity high, but priority will be low in this context.
Low.
Today the priority will be low here. A major issue, severity high. A major issue, severity high, belongs to future release module, not in current release. Severity high, but priority would be low. That is the example I given. An example for a defect that takes high severity, but low priority. Same you can use for the two things. First one is low severity, but high priority. Second one is high severity, but low priority in this context. Make a note of it. I'm giving the example for a defect that takes high severity, but low priority. High severity, but low priority. Take it. A major issue belongs to future release module. A major issue meaning severity high belongs to future release module, not in current release. A major issue belongs to future release module. Right. Over the next column available in our template, defect status. Make a note, defect status. Defect status. What is defect status? It indicates what is the current position of the defect in the development process. Make a note. It indicates What is the current position of the defect? What is the current position of the defect in development process? What is the current position of the defect in development process? Right. What is the current position, whether it is resolved, to be resolved, or postponed, or rejected?
Sir,
or
please
something
repeat again.
else? It indicates what is the current position of the defect in development process. Okay, what are the various defect statuses? Make a note. Different defect statuses. Different defect statuses. Different defect statuses. So what are the various defect statuses? New. Any defect beginning status would be new. All new defects you report to developer verify, yes, it is accepted. The programmer start working on it, update the status, open. In some companies, in place of open, they use a word in progress. In progress, work in progress, not completed. Developer still working on it. When the problem is rectified by the developer, the status gets updated to fixed. In some companies, in place of fixed, they use a word resolved. Problem was resolved. Fixed, resolved, both are same. When the developer said problem rectified, resolved, we retest. Really it is resolved, we update the status to close. Not properly rectified, we update the status to reopen, again open. Developer not accepting your bug, status would be rejected. Developer postpone the problem to the next phase. Postpone. In some companies, in place of postpone, they use a word called deferred. Deferred meaning postponed. Deferred or postponed. Is a problem not understandable to the developer? Hold. The problem already reported, again repeated, duplicated, duplicate. These are the possible defect statuses. 9 possible statuses. Deferred meaning postponed. In place of postponed, some people, some companies, they use a word deferred, that is postponed.
Sir, what are the scenarios where the defect is postponed?
You reported a UI bug to the developer, user interface related issue. This Friday, we have a release. As it is a low severity bug, I don't have time to resolve it. I may postpone to the next schedule, next week. Remember, at any cost, high severity defect cannot be postponed. If there is a tight schedule, no time available, developer may postpone the low severity bugs to the next schedule. At any cost, high severity defect cannot be postponed. Definitely the project lead will ask the developer why you are postponing this. If time available, you are postponing, I'll ask you. I know there is a tight schedule. Okay, it is a very minor issue. Next week we'll resolve it. I may allow my team members to postpone it. I already said yesterday. Yesterday I explained, again you repeated the same question. Your question is duplicated. I received a bug. Same bug again I received from the other team member. It's already in my database. I'm working on it. Today I received the same bug from other team member. It is called duplicated.
So what's the reopen, like the bug which is closed, again opening the status or working on it?
Here, I reported a bug to my developer rectified it and communicated back to me the problem was rectified. Developer said problem is rectified. What I will do? I retest. Really it is correctly rectified or not? No, it's not correctly rectified. Same problem is still alive. Developer said problem rectified but not rectified. I have to reopen the case. After resolving the bug, developer already changed the status to fixed, but not properly fixed. If I leave it, developer think problem is okay. I have to reopen. When I reopen, developer will understand I fixed, but tester reopened, meaning still there is some issue. Again, he will look into it. So now, totally how many statuses? 9. In these 9 statuses, you answer me what are the various statuses handled by the tester and what are the various statuses handled by the developer here. Out of
New.
9, what are the various statuses handled by the tester and what are the various statuses handled by the developer? New. Whenever we report a bug, tester reported a bug, status would be new. Again, I'll come back into the picture once I get the updated version after fixing the problem. I retest. Problem really rectified, close. Not correctly rectified, reopen. Only these 3 statuses are handled by the tester. We report a bug, status new. Again, when the tester will come back into the picture, in the modified version, I retest. Reported problem is correctly rectified, close. Not properly rectified, reopen. Remaining all 6 statuses handled by the developer. Developer will open the bug. Developer will resolve the bug. Developer will postpone the bug. Developer may reject the bug. Developer needs some more details, hold the bug. Defect already reported, again repeated. Developer may update the status to duplicate. Make a note of this. What are the various defect statuses handled by the tester? What are the various defect statuses handled by the developer is given here. Yes. Description, everything. Same line. When I am executing for one more time, under test case, I executed on the build one. One moment. Everybody try to understand this. The question is, the very question is, not this, sorry. We executed these test cases. Test case number 1 is already passed. Test case number 2, there is a bug. Test case number 2, there is a defect encountered. This defect I communicated. Maybe after 2 days, I received the modified version. After 2 days, I received the modified version. How I have to proceed further execution? That is the question. So what I will do, I'll make a copy of the file. Some name like this. Test case execution, build number 2. I do not want to run the first test case. First test case is false. I do not want to test it again. Remove. Test case number 2, test case number 3, I want to re-execute. Hope you are understanding what I'm doing. Test case number 2, test case number 3, I want to re-execute. I'll make like this. First, I'll start executing the test cases once again on the updated build. Second build status, I'm going to update here. Understand? If it is an Excel sheet, this is the way. If I'm using a software like Jira, for every build we create a setup. What are the test cases you want to rerun? You pull and start execution. It will automatically fetch the database.
I have a doubt. Let's think that whatever is the bug that is reported in version 1 is not rectified, and version 2 also is not rectified. How do you put those two errors in one Excel sheet, saying that the error that was not rectified in both the versions, though we have reported it? Putting as a high priority.
Your terminology not correct, madam. Why you are updating priority? First of all, defect 1 not rectified in the first build. Why again, I mean, defect 2 you are saying, second build? Defect 1, first of all, not rectified. Why this will be again duplicated in this sheet?
Because they said that it was rectified. Let's say they said that it was rectified, but it was not rectified, and we opened the case again.
Okay, whatever it may be, status available, right?
Yeah.
Here, status available, right? Not rectified, meaning what is the status? In progress. Then still it is in progress. If it is in progress, why I retest? I don't retest it. One, my developer said problem is fixed, then only I retest it. Same sheet I'm going to use. For all builds, I'm going to use the same defect report template. Because for every defect, we have a column called status. When all defects reach the status called closed, then only we stop testing. For all defects, there will be a status column, right? 40 defects are encountered last 2-3 builds. All 40 defect status is closed, then only I make a decision, stop testing. Otherwise, we don't stop testing. Let me explain the connected topic here. Defect life cycle, bug life cycle, one of the must posted interview question. Take it. Defect life cycle or bug life cycle. Defect life cycle or bug life cycle. Defect life cycle or bug life cycle. So what is generally life cycle meaning?
Process.
Journey of
Process from
build
starting to ending.
in
What is life
different
cycle? Explain human life cycle.
Start to end. Any
Human
process.
life cycle. What is the first in human life cycle? From birth to death is called human life cycle. Development life cycle meaning from gathering the requirement till delivery of the product. Testing life cycle meaning from planning how to carry out testing on the current product till we make a decision, enough, stop testing. Bug life cycle, defect life cycle. From finding a bug, when you find a bug, its life started. A new bug you have identified, a new bug you have recognized, its birth started till the closure of the bug. From finding a defect till closure of the defect, if I explain what are the various activities carried out in development process related to this defect, that is called defect life cycle or bug life cycle. A defect life cycle will explain various stages of a defect from its identification till its closure. First, make a sentence. A defect life cycle will explain. Defect life cycle will explain. Defect life cycle will explain various stages of a defect. Various stages of a defect. Various stages of a defect from its identification. From its identification. Various stages of a defect from its identification till its closure. Till its closure. So a defect life cycle will explain various stages of a bug, how the bug will flow in development process from its identification till its closure. Now let me explain. I'll give a small diagram. If you read the diagram, you will get the answer for the question bug life cycle. In one sentence, I explained what it is. You have to demonstrate or explain from beginning of the bug. What is the beginning of the bug status? New, till close. If you explain all stages one by one, automatically you get the answer for the question bug life cycle. I said one statement first. A defect life cycle will explain various stages of a bug from its identification till its closure. Okay, first try to understand this. I give a small diagram. When you read the diagram, you get the answer for the question. Who is he? Tester. A tester find a defect. A tester find a defect. Soon after a defect identified by the tester, this defect will be documented in a defect report template, maybe Excel sheet. Or if a company using a bug reporting tool like Jira in a Jira tool with the status new. Any bug initial status would be new. This new bug reported to developer. Developer check, verify the received defect is valid or not. The developer verify the defect. No developer simply proceed. You reported a defect to me. If I'm a developer, I verify received one is valid one or not. What is the guarantee you posted a valid one? First, I need to understand the problem first. Then only I can able to resolve it. For that, I verify the received issue. I check the received bug. There are different possibilities here. If the received defect is incorrect, invalid, developer feels it is not a valid one, developer update the status to reject. Developer not agreeing your bug, it's not a bug, it is a requirement. Developer change the status from new to reject. The rejected defect will send back to tester. Yesterday we discussed tester will re-verify. Yes, tester made a mistake, they will close. Otherwise again, reopen. the other possibility. If the defect is correct, valid, if the defect is valid, developer change the status to open. Open meaning developer agree to be resolved, not yet resolved, work in progress. Open meaning still work is happening, not yet completed. I'll continue this. First, let me finish off remaining possibilities during the defect analysis made by the developer. The defect is not clear to the developer, understandable to the developer. The status would be hold. Hold. For any reason, the defect is postponed to the next phase. The defect is postponed to the next phase. The status gets updated by the developer to postponed. I told you at any cost, simply developer should not postpone it. For every postponement of the bug, project lead will ask why you have postponed it. I should able to give the clarity. So high severity defect generally will not be postponed at any cost. The defect already reported.
Duplicate.
The defect is already reported, again repeated. The status would be the duplicate. So these are the various possibilities during the defect analysis made by the developer. Once this analysis is completed, developers start working on accepted bugs. Let's say out of 10, 8 defects are accepted, 1 defect is rejected, 1 defect is postponed. What is the status of these 8 defects? What is
Open.
Importance, open.
Open. Open, need to be resolved. Defect 1, defect 2, defect 8, for example. I'll consider the severities. I update the priorities, low priority, high priority, medium priority, very high priority. Now I start resolving the bugs based on the priorities. Out of 10, 8 is agreed to be resolved. Out of 8, what to be resolved first? What to be resolved next? Developer decide. Assign the priority, then start resolving the bugs based on the priorities. Once the defect is resolved, the developer fix the defect.
Send to tester.
Once the defect is resolved by the developer, they update the status to fixed. After fixing the bugs, developer creates what is this? Modified build. Because in order to resolve a bug, developer made some code changes. Then the code need to be again recompiled. Next version, build 2. After fixing all of the bug, developer creates a modified build. Developer creates modified build. This modified build released to the QA team, correct? The modified version will be again published to the QA team. What we do in the modified version? I will check the defect is correctly fixed or not. There are two possibilities here. In the modified version, reported bug is correctly rectified or not, I recheck. Actually, decision box meaning condition, correct? Decision. Defect is fixed. I check is defect is correctly fixed or not. True. If it is fixed, we'll change the status to close. Not correctly fixed.
Open.
False. I re-verified, but not correctly fixed. I'll change the status to
Reopen.
reopen. All reopen defect will send back to the developer. All 9 are covered. Check 9 statuses. A tester find a bug, document with the status called new, report to the development team. Developer verify the received defect is valid or not. If valid, open. Invalid, reject. Developer need more details about the bug, hold. For any reason the defect is postponed. The defect are reported again, repeated, duplicated. Once this analysis completed by the developer start resolving the accepted bugs, open bugs. Soon after a bug is resolved by the developer, they change the status to fixed. Once all bugs are rectified, they compile a modified version, release it to QA team. The QA team perform retesting on a modified version. If really defect is correctly resolved, close. Not resolved, reopen. Reopen defect will send back to the developer again. After retesting on a modified version here, again we do regression testing. If any new defect identified, again that will be documented with the status new. Same process will continue until all defects are closed. You understand this diagram, right? For today, you note down this diagram. Try to understand this diagram flow. Tomorrow, I'll give the notes about this. Okay? Right. So online team, you also note down this diagram and log off for today. Tomorrow, we'll continue. Thank you. Venkat, stop recording.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.